dear brothers and sisters, welcome to Few Minutes of Catholic Doctrine. As I said last time, in our last video, we looked at sacraments and the three divisions of the sacraments. We saw that the 7 sacraments are divided into 3 groups: the sacraments of Christian initiation, and the sacraments of service, and the sacraments of healing. Therefore, today, we will be looking at one of the sacraments of Christian initiation. That is baptism. What is baptism? Baptism is that sacrament which washes us away from our original sin. It makes us children of God and members of the church. In simple way, baptism is the key that unlocks all the other sacraments. When you receive baptism, then it gives you that idea, that freedom to be able to receive the rest of the sacraments in the church. As any other sacrament in the church, each sacrament has its matter and form. Each sacrament has its minister and extraordinary minister of the sacrament. The sacrament of baptism has as its ordinary minister the priest, the bishop, and the deacon. They are the ones who are to baptize. But when it comes to extraordinary cases, in situations where one is in danger of death, anyone can baptize. Therefore, what will warrant someone to be able or to become an extraordinary minister of the sacrament of baptism? My dear brothers and sisters, as long as this person knows that this is the form of baptism, because baptism has matter and form. What is matter? What is form? The matter of the sacrament of baptism, they are the visible signs, the visible things that we see in the sacrament of baptism. When this sacrament is celebrated, we see water, we see oil, we see the white cloth, we see the candle. These things are the matter of the sacrament of baptism. The form of the sacrament of baptism are the words used by the priest during baptism. For example, the priest or the extraordinary minister of the sacrament of baptism will say, "Peter, John, Mary, I baptize you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." Therefore, this is the form of baptism, which is a Trinitarian formula. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, few minutes of Catholic doctrine brings us the awareness to know what is baptism all about. Sometimes we see so many signs being used during the celebration of baptism. For example, as we say, the sacrament of baptism, it makes one a child of God. It washes you away from the original sin. During the baptismal rite, the priest signs the candidate or the child for baptism with the sign of the cross as a sign of claiming you that you now belong to Christ. And he invites the parents and the godparents to mark you or to sign you with the sign of the cross to show that you now belong to Christ. The sacrament of baptism gives us that welcoming to Christianity. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, the sacrament of baptism, as we baptize you, it brings you, welcomes you into Christianity. The sacrament of baptism, we cannot talk about it in just few minutes. In our next episode, we will continue to look at how is this sacrament celebrated